Was that impressive? Most people would say so. However, that's not where the controversy around competitive gaming lies. Rather, the true concern is whether it is analogous to this. With the astronomical rise of the gaming industry, there has been a corresponding shift to make gaming more palatable to a mainstream audience. One example of this effort is the push to refer to competitive gaming as eSports. But with this title has come controversy, with many questioning whether the sports in eSports is truly appropriate. To analyze such a question, we have to consider the definition of a sport. Whether you take the dictionary definition or one provided by a sporting organization like the NCAA, 3 common criteria define sports: physical exertion, skill, and established competition. All 3 of these benchmarks must be met to be considered a sport. An example of an activity you're probably familiar with is chess. Chess tournaments line the globe, indicating flourishing competition. People dedicate their lives to become grandmasters of chess, and the permutations one needs to master are virtually endless. However, most would agree that chess doesn't reach the requirement of physical exertion to be considered a sport. In the case of competitive gaming, large-scale competitions have emerged, such as the Fortnite World Cup, which had a prize pool of $30 million, and formal teams have now been created that compete against each other at these events. Additionally, the extremely low probability of becoming a quote-unquote esports athlete in the most popular games indicates that an intense amount of skill is required to become an elite gamer. To the proponents of esports, this seems like a victory. But just like chess, esports falls short when it comes to the metric of physical exertion. The range of motion is simply not enough to be considered a sport, with most of the movement involving just the fingers of a competitor. Statistics such as esports athletes having a pulse between 160 to 180, which is equivalent of that of an average marathon runner, are used to show that esports meets the requirement for physical exertion. But interestingly, Robert Sapolsky, a researcher at Stanford University, has concluded that a chess player can lose up to 6,000 calories in just one day from playing chess, and the elevated blood pressure is similar to that experienced in a marathon. But that doesn't mean that we consider chess a sport. In both cases, the pressure comes from mental anxiety, not physical exertion. The parallels between these 2 activities show the inaccuracy of calling esports a sport. But the problem transcends a set of benchmarks. Recognizing competitive gaming as a sport will legitimize many negative aspects of gaming culture. For example, energy drinks dominate the gaming industry, with brands such as Red Bull even creating their very own esports organizations. If sporting organizations recognize esports as a sport, it will send a terrible message to the world. Unhealthy products have a place in sports. More fundamentally, competitive gaming pushes a sedentary lifestyle. Sporting icons will begin to come in the form of athletes who are never seen away from their chairs, which will inevitably lead to many idealizing such a lifestyle. Millions of people consume esports, making the negative influence massive. In sum, the image competitive gaming portrays to its audience is antithetical to the healthy lifestyle sports should be promoting, which makes it even clearer that esports shouldn't be considered a sport. Not considering competitive gaming a sport doesn't take away from the importance of the genre to our culture. After all, it is rising in popularity at an unprecedented rate. But the sports in esports cannot stay.